Hi, this is episode one of Running Interviews with Cash Money Athletic Company. I'm Carson. Today I'm here with Kaleb Martin. Kaleb, you want to give a little background about yourself?
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
I'm a distance runner on the track and cross country teams at The Ohio State
That's
University.
right, the Ohio State University. All right, Kaleb. So let's just dive right into it here. What are some things you love about running?
Probably the biggest thing that kind of drove me into running, and then that I love about it as I get deeper into it, just running more miles every day, is just the community and the people around it.
Heck yeah.
The fact that you can do it, and whether you're running fast or slow, you can run with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and just the amount of people you get to meet
Heck yeah.
just through training with them. Or so one of my favorite things is when on a random run, I'll see someone else running about the same pace and start running with them and meet a new friend that day. So
Heck yeah.
yeah, I think that's
That's
a special
awesome.
part about the sport.
I know that's happened to me a couple times on the Old Sanji Trail, just like running, and then you see someone running like 2 seconds faster, and you're like, "Oh, wait up, wait up."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First, I guess before we keep diving into the questions, can you just like list a couple of your PRs, and then let's do something crazy. Let's do like the most mileage you've ever run in a week.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
All right, let's hear it.
So I just wrapped up my last season. I finished my last cross country season in the
Uh-huh.
fall, and my PR was 24:20 for the 8K.
For 8K on grass.
Yeah, and during that season, I got up to 100 miles a week,
Sheesh.
hit 100 on the dot.
Okay, and then I know a lot of people love hearing about the 5K PR. So can you list your 5K PR too for us real quick?
Yeah, I'm hoping to break it down a lot this year. I haven't run a 5K in 3 years since my freshman year, but I ran 14:40 my freshman year.
1440 as a freshman, and this
Yeah,
guy's been battling injuries for the past couple of years in
yeah.
track season. So, long story short, he's a dog. All right, diving back into the questions here, we talked about some stuff you love about running. Now, what are some things you hate or dislike about running?
One of the things just kind of impulsively I dislike about running
Mm-hmm.
is how harsh of a truth it is when you get hurt and
Mm-hmm.
when you're feeling bad with it, and that's just something you got to deal with. But I think that's also one of the best things about running, because that's when you grow the most.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of at the end. I think I'm starting to get out of it of like a 3-month injury block,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really tough when you get into a good flow of running and then it's taken away from you.
Right.
But I think, and I know from previous injuries, like some of the most growth I've made as a person is just kind of battling back from those
Mm-hmm.
injuries, and then getting to understand um, how grateful I can be and how much more of a gift it is to run when I
Right.
get back to running on the ground.
I know we were talking about that a little bit before we started recording this. And you were mentioning some of like your cross training strategies and stuff like that. So, I guess based on that, because obviously you have to do a lot of that when you can't run. What are some like mental strategies you use to kind of stay in like the grind and the love of the sport when you can't participate in the sport itself and you have to do all the cross training and extra stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. One of the main things I go to is visualization.
Uh huh.
So I've been most of my cross training lately has been aqua jogging.
Yeah.
So it's similar movement to running, and then I'm trying to visualize in my head either races or workouts I've done on land, or races I'd want to do. I know what
Mm-hmm.
tracks we're going to in this
Right.
upcoming track season. So kind of visualizing those scenes and settings,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of imagining running and imagining how much it's going to hurt when I get to that turning point in the race, when I get
Right.
to make the decision, am I going to have a PR that day, or
Yeah.
am I going to disappoint myself? And I want to make the right decision there. And I think some of that is
Mm-hmm.
while I'm cross training and getting my heart rate up,
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm not able to run then, it's kind of visualizing those moments that are to come. So I'm
Right.
ready for them when they get there.
And I love how you said that about like the choice, because I think it's so easy to kind of just accept like, oh, I'm hurting, like I must be having a hard day, but no, like in that moment you do have that choice to commit to your goal or just to kind of let it pass you by. And obviously that's not an easy decision, but definitely one you have to make for the better.
Definitely.
So I love that. Next question I have for you here is, why did you start running?
So from a young age, I would go on runs, just like a mile or two,
Mm-hmm.
with my parents. My mom runs marathons,
Okay.
and my dad um, is a competitive hobby jogger. So he hasn't gotten up to a full, but he just ran his first half marathon recently,
Awesome.
and he knows how to push himself hard, whether it's
Uh-huh.
a 3 mile in the neighborhood or something like that. So just when I was young, I'd go out and run with them, and I got them up some fitness from that, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of got to know the love of the sport and like what it can give you through
Mm-hmm.
that. And my senior year in high school, at the end of my junior year, I'd played soccer all the way up through then, and hadn't
Mm-hmm.
really focused on running as a sport of its own.
Mm-hmm.
I got drawn into by some friends. I got drawn into going to a couple practices while I was still on the soccer team, And while I was going to those cross country practices, I just got to see kind of the community and the camaraderie that's there with people as you're training together. And there was a lack of toxicity that I've seen in other sports where even through training or even your own opponents, you have this respect because you know how hard they're working to even get the training done and to show up on race day and to push themselves. And you still want to beat them, but there's like a healthy respect there that I was really drawn to,
Right.
and wanted to just kind of learn more about that and how to push myself more. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I think you can even see that like at the pro level. Like I know Connor Mance just raced the Houston half marathon.
Yeah.
And got second by like I think a tenth of a second or something like that to first place. And someone interviewed him after the race, and he said basically just praised his opponent the whole time, even though like he like barely edged out. Like I know in a lot of other sports, people might be mad or like frustrated or annoyed and voice that in the interview, but this guy was all praise and stuff. So I think that is a really cool part of running. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Now we want to know about some of your passions outside of running. So could you list some of those for us?
Yeah. One big passion that I've been trying to grow more lately is my faith. So just kind of spending more time in prayer, and that's something that through this injury has been really big. Just prayer of gratitude for the things I still have, and that I'm still able to even cross train because that's a gift.
Right.
And then also like sharing that with others, kind of trying to share the love and just the grace of knowing that God made us the way we are for a reason. And it's been a real blessing lately. I've started helping to lead a Bible study with some teammates on the team at Ohio State, and that's been really cool to bring those guys into the fold there and just kind of grow that relationship with them too. And I've learned so much just from doing that. But that's a big passion. Another one is music. I'm a guitarist, so kind of similar to running, just the community around that and just the ways you get to meet people. You get to know them through a language that's different than just our words.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that. Very artsy. A language that's different than just our words. Yeah. All right. I love that. Diving back into some running stuff now, what's your favorite running memory of all time?
At the start of every season, we have a camp where we usually go to Hocking Hills, southeastern Ohio, kind of up. It's called Hocking Hills, but it's really where the mountains start up as you're getting towards West Virginia. And it's really beautiful country, and you get there and you kind of forget this is Ohio too. So it's neat to be there, but we do that with the cross country team to start off the season. And it's a great time that we all get a bond and kind of lock in on our goals. And just I have some really special memories from there this past fall, where we had a whole group there, and the energy is always ready to start the season and to work hard. But the energy was different this year, and everyone just kind of had a feeling that it was going to be different. Yeah. And we're going to start moving closer to our goals. So that was just special to be with a group of guys who were all kind of on the same page and ready to work hard for each other.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Now getting a little silly, we want to hear what your funniest running story is.
Yeah. So I had a race my senior year of high school. That was this course that cuts through the woods, and there's a lot of bends and kind of forks in the trail, and it almost looks more like a trail race than a cross country race. But it was a 5K cross country race. Okay. And as you're getting through, they have officials on the course kind of change where you're going as you loop through these different loops through the woods by kind of using caution tape to mark off the trees. You'll hit a fork in the trail and you either go right or left, and they caution tape off one of them. Okay. And we'd run this course. The team had run this course every year for a decade. And my senior year when we were running it, we had this was another good memory because I had a lot of close teammates, and we were near the front of the race, kind of in a pack. Yeah. And I had two teammates up ahead, and there was a bit of a gap, and then me and another runner. And we knew, because our coach had gone to this meet so many times, we knew what the course was like. So we knew where the trails were supposed to fork. And we got to one time where they had the caution tape on the wrong side. And we take the wrong fork in the trail. And in our heads, we're all kind of thinking, this isn't right, but we're in the race. We got to go now. Right. And the way this trail now spits us out, it spits us out back on the starting line. So we end up back at the boxes. There's no more course to go. We just ran. We're halfway through the race, and we just hit the starting line, so it's over. And my two teammates who are ahead leading the race, rightfully so, they're frustrated. They just walk off, and they're like, it's over. And me and this other runner who are now in third and fourth, I guess now in first and second, we kind of looked at each other. You're like, you want to keep running? So there's this kind of like waist height ribbon behind the start line, and we just hopped over it and kept running. And the next 200 runners in the race just followed every step we went. And I think we ended up running 4 miles. But just through the trail, we just started like choosing our own turns until we felt like this is about 5K. And then we came around the final turn, It was the two of us and we ran it in, but that was kind of funny. Just like the second half of the race was a weird mentality to be, I'm ready to PR today,
Uh-huh.
mentally ready to race, and then suddenly we're making up the course as we go, which is kind of a unique experience.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's happened since you've graduated?
I'm guessing they've been a little better and more clear about course instruction since then.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What course is that? You want to shout it out real quick?
Yeah.
Do you
Eaton.
remember? Eaton. All right,
Yeah.
Eaton. All right.
I think it's near the Dayton area. Beautiful course.
All right, diving in a little bit more to your experience here at Ohio State, what's been the hardest part about being a D1 runner?
Being a runner, or really any athlete, from talking to friends who are on other teams here, um, it's a huge blessing to be at Ohio State with all the resources we have. They take it really seriously that we're here to be student athletes. So they know we're here to learn and get our degrees and get work experience as well. So they're very accommodating about that. And there's tons of resources for tutoring and helping with classes. So even though my course load's been pretty high as a mechanical engineering major, I felt very prepared and like I've always had the help that I needed to balance both running and schoolwork. So that's actually surprisingly been easy. I think probably the most difficult part of being a D1 runner, probably a D1 athlete of any type, is just something's that important to you and at the front of your life when things don't go right. For me, it's mostly been injuries. It's really tough to keep pushing forward and to stay positive through that. But once again, those are just the experiences that kind of make you who you are. And those are I think the areas for the most growth.
So. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you touched on your faith a little bit, and I think God doesn't give us anything we can't handle, for a reason. Definitely. So definitely shaping you into the person you're becoming.
Yeah.
Now switching things up a little bit, what's the best part of being a D1 runner?
Best part of being a D1 runner. Here, definitely just the group that I get to train with.
Yeah.
And it's really special. We have a special group at Ohio State here. Our coach tries to recruit people all in-state, which there's great runners from the neighboring states and all over the country. Right. But it's really cool when you grow up in your high school team and you kind of learn about the runners from around the state area, and then you get to go, and a lot of the best together in the state get to become teammates after that. And that's really special, and to make friendships with those guys and just get to run and get better with them after.
Absolutely.
Is my favorite part of it.
What do they say? Develop here, right?
Yeah, developed here.
That's right. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, last one, wrapping up here. How would you describe being a Buckeye?
I think Will Howard said it best earlier on Monday night when he said, "I'm so glad God gave me the gift of being a Buckeye."
I can't believe God gave me the chance to be a Buckeye.
And just, it's a blessing. And there's so much grace and opportunity here that is to be taken advantage of. So really appreciate all of that.
Absolutely awesome. All right, so that was all the questions I had for you, but I do want to give you a little parting gift for coming out. We got our Founders Club bracelet here. So that's why it says club on there. You're one of the first 200 people to receive those bracelets. Yeah. So hope you can rock that out on the Olentangy Trail and on the track a little bit.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming out. This has been episode 1 of Running Interviews. I'm Carson. This is Caleb. Thanks for watching.